Time for the second double single review, Rain and Paperback Writer. As we reach our second episode of the singles analysis of the Beatles double singles, this episode we go down the psychedelic route of the Magical Mystery Tour. A magical mystery tour full of the beginning psychedelic songs. One at least, that would begin the Beatles' road down into what the band would knew them as. Rain, released in 1966, along with Paperback Writer, with two different ones. Paperback Writer goes for more of a rock style, and and Rain goes for more of a psychedelic style, which was basically kind of new at that time. Not that it didn't establish it, but they made it popular. So To start the analysis, we need to talk about the recording process. It was recorded around the same time as the album Revolver was being recorded, which is, if you didn't know, it's my favorite Beatles album. So I like these two. I like to listen to after I'm done with Revolver. I'll listen to these two, then I'll listen to Revolver. I'll listen to Revolver, then these two, because I just think they go together. Revolver is so good, and we're Day Tripper and Paper, and We Can Work It Out were more like old style. These are more going into the 1966, 1967 style, one of them at least. The other one falls back to that 65 style, which there's nothing wrong with the Beatles 65 releases, because those are a big step up to, the psychedelic era too. But, Rain is my personal favorite of these two. I love how the chorus goes and how John's voice does the same type of thing it does in Tomorrow Never Knows, where it's smothered in these effects, and then I always thought the song was kind of eerie the first time I listened to it. And Paperback Writer with its catchy beat and the bass into it, and the music videos were my favorite Beatles music video from that one. Although Rain has an iconic one in my opinion too. Rain kind of, it can feel dreary at sometimes. And that also works for its advantage. Rain, like it says, gives that feeling of being out in a bad thunderstorm, in my opinion. I don't know if that's just me. It's ironic. I know it's you said it means rain. Yeah, it's a thunderstorm. No, I mean whenever I listen to it, I feel like I'm in an environment being covered rain or something. And I know it sounds cliche. Oh yeah, you're naming the title of the song by something, but that's legitimately how I feel about this song. I think it's in some parts works better than Tomorrow Never Knows, in other parts it kind of falls back, and overall isn't as good as Tomorrow Never Knows. Definitely Tomorrow Never Knows has more of a crisp style to it, plus good finisher to a great album, though that one was. So, move on to our second song, B-side. Paperback Writer. Yes sir, madam, will you read my book? It's a song that is more catchy. I'm just gonna say that. While Rain could not always be viewed by everyone, I think Paperback Writer goes for more of a easy access to anybody who listens to it. Rain is a more psychedelic for the Beatles fans who know what they would become, and Paperback Writer can be used for most standard rock. Because with the mixture of the bass and the guitar and the lyrics, it doesn't strive for a psychedelic route, which is, like I said, perfectly fine. Kind of like how How We Can Work It Out was used to kind of dreary kind of rise and low effects. This one also is kind of like Day Tripper with more of a classic rock vibe, although I would say Day Tripper's better because of its riff. And this one, it's got a good riff, but it's Paperback Writer just does not have the same effect as Day Tripper. But both the music videos were some of the first music videos directed by Michael Lindsay Hogg, who would later direct The Beatles Get Back in 1969, and ultimately would create some of my favorite songs listened to on my favorite the Beatles catalogs. Wish they could have been added to Revolver. It would have been a big old crisp 16 song list. I get the 14 songs was good enough, and also you'd probably have to get rid of some songs like Love You Too, and Free as a Bird, which I love both of those songs. So, or not Free as a Bird. What am I talking about? I can't believe I forgot the song. It's like Fraser Birds, the Beatles, which that single we review next year. I want to like whenever we get done through all like the remasters and stuff, that's gonna be when I review that single. But we're also gonna do all the rest of the singles first. But so Your Bird Can Sing and Your Bird Can Sing. Yes, you have to get rid of that, and I love that song. But basically, I think this month has been good to get back to an old style format because for like the past couple months we've been like making videos on just things that I don't want to like. I, I, I have not been able to find a good mix, and I think in this April, I got one video coming up in midweek, and the final one, the Abbey Road review. Also, we got the Doki Doki Literature Club review coming out this month, and we have an analysis on YouTube's early years. This video has been in production for 2 months, and it's gonna be covering 2005 through 2012 YouTube era. I'm gonna call it the original YouTube age. The one where like you didn't have to really worry about being demonetized, and it was just when YouTube was like a Wild West. And then episode 2 of that will come out in May and June, and the third one. And those two, in the first, I'll cover 2 in June, one about 2017 is a full episode because 2017 was a big year for YouTube, and then another for 2018 through 2022 era, through now era, for the modern age. And then, of course, one of my favorites is going to be making the 2013 through 2016, the classic era of the golden age of YouTube. But yeah, stay healthy, everyone. Peace and love. In my opinion, Rain is the better of the two, but they're both exceptional pieces of music, and please listen to them. This has been another music review. Stay healthy, everyone. Peace and love.